This conference will now be recorded.
Hi Vishal. Hi Vidya.
Hello, Sunil. Good morning.
Karthik, Deepthi. Good morning all.
Hi, Sunil.
Hi Gopi. How are you doing? Ananya. Welcome.
Hi,
Hi
Sunil. I'm
Gopi.
fine. Yeah, I'm fine, Sunil.
So I think, are you there in the last session?
No, actually, due to some production issues, I was not joined yesterday.
So how are you practicing?
But I viewed, yeah, I reviewed yesterday's session.
Notes. Okay.
Yeah,
So overall, how do you feel, Gopi? So DevOps, is it
yeah. Is it
interesting
okay?
or
Only thing I can, yeah. Everything is fine now. Only Jenkins a bit confusing, but I have to practice Jenkins more. Other than that, Dockers and all, everything
your
is fine.
current technology, currently which your technology you are working?
Yeah, in middleware technology.
Which middleware?
Yeah, WebSphere, VAS, MQ, and Data Power,
Okay.
and all these.
Maybe I think approximately 7 years back, I think so.
Yes,
The MQ series was high in demand, right?
yes, but the current market, I mean, everything is moving to the cloud, so slowly coming
So
down.
everything you are implemented
Middleware.
as part of services.
Yes,
So it's very important. And all the participants are just want learning new technologies is very very important. The current trend, having those skills in the resume, always where add value. Am I right, Gopi?
yes, yes, Sunil, yeah.
Ananya, what about you practicing? Are you practicing, Ananya?
Haven't practiced from last 2 to 3 days, Sunil. I
Okay,
actually went for a
that's okay.
COVID test and
This is
I'm
okay. But
waiting for the result.
which one?
COVID test.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Mm.
COVID test to get
So
results in within 1 hour, I think so, right? Yeah.
it's actually I went to the weekend, so it's
Uh-huh.
Saturday, Sunday, right? So they're taking some time.
Okay. So tomorrow you get it. You get
Yeah,
it.
yeah, probably.
Okay. Even I am feeling with little fever and cough too.
Yeah, yeah, it's mild symptoms, not severe, but just wanted to be sure. Don't want to increase the chain.
Uh, somehow I am not going managing with some paracetamol.
Yeah, yeah.
So please update us tomorrow. Please be online.
Sure,
Okay.
Sunil.
No matter whether the positive or negative, please attend the
Yeah,
sessions.
yeah. Sure.
Okay. Okay. So let's start. Satyam Trivedi, how many ways we can create a customized images? Can you hear me, Satyam?
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, I missed your two lectures, sir.
Oh God.
I was not keeping well, sir. I had fever.
Okay.
So I'll go through the videos.
Please go to the videos.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. So in two ways we can create customized images. Let's go to the notes of the previous session. Creating customized images can be done in two ways: by using Docker commit command, by using Docker file. Using Docker command, we already have learned. We'll create a container and then we can changes. We do changes whatever we want in the container, and that container you can convert it to an image by using Docker commit. Second way of creating customized images is by using Docker file. So first what we do, we have some keywords. Using these keywords, what we do, create a Docker file. And when the Docker file gets executed, when we run the Docker file, what happens? The image gets created. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
we have seen one example. So let's look at one more example. And we have to discuss about some features like cache busting. This is pending. Under version working with Docker file, we need to have a few more examples. Version controlling on Docker file, cache busting. So these points which I want to discuss. Okay. So whenever I start a container, I want a program to get executed. Program, in other words, it's a command. Whenever I start a container, I want a command to get executed. So we have a command instruction. Look at this. Command is used to specify an initial command that should be executed when a container starts. So this is very important. Using the keywords, we create a Docker file. And we run the Docker file. When we run the Docker file, what happens? Customized image gets created, not container. Customized image gets created. That's the point. Okay. So we should be familiar about this keyword. So look at the requirement. Command is a keyword. Use it to specify the initial command that should get executed when a container starts. So from the customized image, what we do, why do we create an image? We only thing what we want to do is to create it. From the image, when you run it, finally what we get is a container. Creating a Docker file. Always first connect to the EC2 machine. I don't want this exists. Okay, so I want to make changes here. Maintainer logic labs. The only thing what I'm doing is I'm including a command instruction. Look at the behavior of the command instruction. So Docker file is created. Now what I need to do, I need to create a customized image. For that, what command is used? Docker build. Docker build. T for tagging. Tagging is nothing but providing the name of the image. My name of the image, I'm writing it as myCentOS space dot refers to the Docker file present in the current working directory. So when you do this, what will happen? Please observe here. Look at the steps. It performs step by step. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 1 from the base image. Step 2, the maintainer keyword gets executed. Step 3, the command instruction gets executed. Okay, and removing. So finally, the container got created. Image got created. What is the name of the image? Docker image. You can see the name of the image. That is myCentOS. We have just created 26. Once the image is ready, what we do, we create a container. So I want to create a container. Docker run. IT stands for interactive terminal. I'm not using hyphen name. Observe here. I'm running the image. When you don't use the name, when you don't provide the name, Docker provides its own name. Yes, now I am inside. I have executed the container and I have created a container. But very important point you need to understand. Are you getting a date command here? Did I manually execute the date? No. Command instruction got executed. That's the importance of command. Whenever a container starts, what will be executed? If you want some activity or some command to get executed, you can do it by using the command instruction. So that's the importance of command instruction. Clear about this? If the requirement is development team says that whenever we start a container, I want some command gets executed automatically, you can do that by using the command instruction. I can do that by using the command instruction. Okay. Let's look at one more example. Yes.
Hey, Sunil. So with this, can we create a new image out of this command? So anytime the container, someone starts a container, we get a latest and the greatest customized image.
Repeat again. Using.
So we're using the command, right? So with the command, so when container started, it displayed the date. So rather than displaying the date, I want to take a new customized image. Can we put something in the command so that anytime the container starts, we automatically get a customized image?
No. Which would be Linux command, whatever we are using. That command instructions should run the Linux commands, not the Docker commands. Okay.
Okay.
Sunil, why it didn't went to interactive mode when you run that?
That's what I'm worried actually. It should go to interactive mode. I'm not sure why it is not going to interactive mode. It should enter into interactive mode.
Don't give any name for the container. What name it will take?
Docker container ls. Container is stopped. Okay, so let's name it.
So Sunil, this is going into the interactive mode, but we are executing the date command,
and it is coming out.
Yeah, it is terminating that container, last container of the date.
Sunil -IT.
It is coming out of the container. Container is stopping and content is coming out of the container. Okay, so let's see. In a Docker file, we can have only one command instruction, very important from the interview point of view. if we give 2 command instructions, it executes the latest one. Let's experience it. Creating a Docker file from is a base image. Maintainer is nothing but the author, and I'm providing 2 command instructions. One is date, the other one is ls-la. Date should throw us the current date. ls-la should show us list of all the files as well as hidden files. Okay.
Is the author here, maintainer?
Maintainer is nothing but the person who is creating a Docker file, name of the person or organization. Okay. Using this Docker file, creating a customized image. Name of the customized image is my Ubuntu, my CentOS. As per the concept, it can only run one command instruction. It cannot run 2 command instructions. When we provide 2 command instructions, it is only running the latest one. So that's the concept of command instruction. When the command instruction gets executed, when we create a container. Important interview question is, what is the difference between command instruction and run instruction? Okay, so you'll experience now what is the difference between command instruction and run instruction. Any doubts in understand the command instruction? Very simple. The command instruction gets executed when you create a container from the customized image. Okay, now look at this. The requirement is, in Ubuntu container, I want Git installed in it. Ubuntu container with Git, you want to install some softwares in a container. So in that case, let's remove the Docker file. Let's create the Docker file from the scratch. Look at this. From base image Ubuntu, maintainer is our author. Whenever you want to install some softwares, we need to provide run instructions. We need to use run instructions. So I'm using 2 run instructions. First time I'm updating apt repository and installing Git. Let us create the Docker file. Command instruction, we already have experienced the command instruction. Command instructions will run when the container starts, obviously, but the run instruction will execute when the image is created. Here, using the Docker file, what you're doing, you're creating an image. At that point of time, the run instruction gets executed. Not when you're creating a container. Run instruction gets executed when you're creating an image. That's the difference. Now experience is, look at this. Docker build, what I'm doing, I'm creating an image. Using the Docker file, I am creating a image. At that point of time, observe what is happening. Updating the apt repository. And installing Git. Done. So run command got executed. Now when the run command is getting executed, when the image is getting created, whereas the command instruction gets executed when we create a container from the image. Okay. To see list of images, obviously we have Docker images. So my Ubuntu is the name of the image which has got created. My Ubuntu which has created just now. Using this my Ubuntu, can I create a container? Yes, so I have created an image. From the image, can I create a container? Obviously you can do that. So I want to create a container. Let's see this, the Dinesh. Let's check whether it will go into interactive terminal or not. Thus, in Ubuntu, it is going to interactive terminal. So I want to check whether Git is installed or not. Is it Git installed? This is image with Ubuntu with Git, right? So definitely, if you see Git hyphen version, let's see the Git is installed. Clear about this exit to come out of the container. So we have experienced the run command options. Run command options will run command instruction will execute when you creating image. Command instruction gets executed when you create a container. Now, very important. Let us perform version controlling on the Docker file. So this version controlling we have learned at the beginning class of Git. Developers will maintain version control. Developers will perform version controlling whenever they want to roll back to the previous version of source code. I said it's not our responsibility to perform version controlling, but even though we don't perform version controlling, we need to learn the Git related commands, isn't it? This is what we have learned. In the interview, if they ask you, have you done any time version controlling? Then what will be our answer? In the interview, they ask you, did you anytime do version controlling on the code? Generally, we will never perform version controlling on the code because we are not the developers. The development team will learn the Git commands and perform version controlling on the source code. But you can say that I got an opportunity to perform version controlling on my code, which we have written. This is our code, right? Yeah, right. This is all we are writing the code. This is our code. Docker file is nothing but the code. So we can perform version controlling on the code which I have written down Docker file. You can project this example. So I have performed version controlling on the Docker file using Git. That's how you can answer it. Let's experience what is the need for creating version control. We have a Docker file, isn't it? If you want to read the contents, cat this is the Docker file contents 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of code. mkdir creating a directory named Docker. mb move, I'm moving a file to the directory which I have just created. Move source and destination. This Docker file which I have, I'm moving it into Docker directory. I want to change directory to Docker. In this Docker, we have a Docker file. This Docker, I want to convert this folder, which is having one file called Docker file. I want to convert it to working directory. Git init. Initialize the empty repository. Git status. We used to get something called master, right? We're not getting this. Everything is an untracked file. One file is an untracked file. Git add dot, moving into staging area. Git commit, creating a commit, moving it to local repository by creating a commit called a commit. Okay, whenever you want to commit, you need to do configurations, right? You remember we need to configure your username. Now run the git commit command. Working tree is clean. So created a file. By default, it's an untracked file. I moved it to staging area. I moved it into local repository. So this is the current status of the Docker file. Now what I'm doing, I'm making some changes in the Docker file, updating the apt repository, installing it, and installing JDK also. Client has changed the requirement. In our sense, client is nothing but the development team. Development team has changed the requirements. As per the requirements, they not only want Git, they want JDK also software to be installed inside that container. So when they want some extra software, we should start from editing the Docker file. So I'm creating a Docker file again.
Sunil, if you use MV file name and another file name, it will rename the file name, right?
MV, this is file name.
And another one, if you give like this.
This is directory, not the file name. mkdir, what's the name of the directory we are creating? Docker. Move will move the file to this particular directory. This file will be copied into this directory. Okay, so when you go into this directory, so you'll get that file.
Will do rename also, right? MV will rename the file also, right? Like MV, using MV, we can rename the file.
No, we cannot rename the file. MV we used to move the file from one location to other location. I want to move a file which is outside the directory into inside the directory.
Okay.
So I have made some, I have edited the code. I have installed one more, I have added one more run command instruction. Save. So obviously, as I have modified the file, if you see git status, it becomes an untracked file. Did I save it? Install git, I have not modified it. Insert mode. After installing it, I'll add one more command instruction. Very clear. So if you see git status as it is modified, it becomes an untracked file. Git add dot will move it into staging area. Creating a second commit called as vcommit. Done. Obviously, if you open the Docker file, we get the latest one. How to see list of all the commits. Git log will show you list of all the commits. A commit and B commit. Head commit is the latest commit. So you try to understand. Your development team has given some requirements. As per the requirements, you have created Docker file. Okay, so you have observed, you got to notice that there are chances the development team are not confident, they all keep on making some changes. So what you do, the current requirements, what the current Docker file, current requirements, what the development team has given it to you, you have created Docker file and you have marked it as a commit. After 3 to 4 days, development team again saying that they need few more required changes in the modifications. That's what previously you have only Git. Now I have installed JDK also. As per the new requirements, what you have done, you have modified the Docker file, and again you have marked it as B commit, because next day you may never know. Again, the development team says that we don't want this new Docker file, the old container state we want it. Then you can easily roll back to the previous status of the code. So as we know, Git is used for performing version controlling the source code. With respect to development team point of view, source code is nothing but the Docker file. When development team keeps on changing the requirements, Docker file also keeps on changing. So you can also mark it as commits, and whenever you don't want, you can roll back to the previous version of the Docker file. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? Prashant, is this clear what I'm trying to say? You can say that I also perform version controlling on my code. Our code is nothing but the Docker file, isn't it?
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes. Is it clear, Prashant?
Yes, it's clear.
You can say now you want to move to a commit. Let's say client says that I don't want the latest Docker file. I want the previous Docker file. And you can reset to the previous version of the code by taking the commit ID. This is the commit ID. That is now A. Now, if you look at the Docker file, you'll have only Git. You'll not have JDK. You get the older version of the Docker file. You have older version of the Docker file. You're not getting JDK. Why? Because you have rolled back your source code. As in the interview, if they ask you, did you get any chance to manage to perform version controlling? Don't say that I used version by maintaining source code of the project. No, we are not responsible for managing the source code created by the development team. It's development team responsibility. You can experience this example. You can project this example as per the development team requirement. We have created Docker file. Our code is Docker file. Okay, and you have maintained version controlling of the Docker file so that I can get back to any previous version of the Docker file. Got it?
Sunil, where that Git and all will be initialized in our local system, or else you have given Git in it, right? Where that working directory will be created.
In the current location, where are you pointing to? Root Docker. This is the current working directory. So this Docker folder is converted into working directory. Okay, Dinesh. When Docker
Sunil,
folder is
yes.
converted to working directory, all the files will become untracked files. You know that concept.
Yeah. Yes.
Cache busting. Important. Do you know cache busting in Docker? What is the advantage of cache busting? What is the disadvantage of cache busting? Important from the interview point of view. You should know when you say that I worked on Docker, you should be knowing the concept of cache busting and what is the problem with the cache busting or what is the advantage of the cache busting. Try to understand this concept. If you have any doubts, please stop me and ask me a query. So try to understand this. Let's try to understand the theory. Whenever an image is built from the Docker file, whenever an image is built from the Docker file, how we build an image from the Docker file? Docker build. Is it -t image name dot current Docker file? Whenever we build an image from the Docker file, Docker reads its memory, check the instructions which are already executed. These steps will not be re-executed. Do you understand this? Forget about the remaining theory. Did you understand this theory? Whenever an image is built from the Docker file, Docker reads its memory. checks the instructions which are already executed. These steps will not be re-executed. We'll see practical. It will execute only the latest instructions. This is a time-saving mechanism provided by Docker. Very important advantage. It will only execute the latest instructions. It will not execute the older instructions. This is a time-saving mechanism of Docker. The disadvantage is we end up installing software packages from a repository which is updated long time back. This is disadvantage. The last statement is disadvantage. This is an advantage. What is this cache bursting? So what is its advantage? What's its disadvantage? Let's experience it. Already I'm in Docker folder. We have a file called as Docker file. Let's open the Docker file. Chetan, can you hear me? Chetan?
Hello.
Can you hear me, Chetan?
Yeah. Hello. I'm audible.
Hi, Chetan.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at the Docker file, we have how many instructions? Please, Chetan, please observe here. From instruction, maintenance instruction, second one. Third one is run instruction. Fourth one is also run instruction. Am I right? Total 4 instructions. Am I right, Chetan?
Yes.
Okay. Now look at this. I'm adding a 5th instruction. Just add one more instruction. After git, I'm installing what? Tree. Insert more. Escape. Double click, save it. So the Docker file is having how many instructions, Chetan? 5 instructions.
5 instructions. Yeah.
So how many? So now what I'm doing? Docker build. Using the Docker file, I'm building an image. When you build an image,
Yes, sir.
what we think generally, when you build an image, what we think, Chetan, we think that as the Docker file is having 5 instructions, we think it will execute all the 5 instructions, but it is not executing 5 instructions. Please observe. Observe what happens. Yes. Command has been successfully completed. Look at the output here. Let's read this. From Ubuntu base image, fine. Step 2, using cache. Step 3, using cache. Step 4, using cache. It has not executed 2, 3, 4 because this is already the older code. It uses the cache memory. The latest Docker file which we have executed, it's also present in the cache memory. It picks up the instructions from the cache memory. So it will not re-execute. It's already, the image is already having customized image is already having this apt repository. Git is already installed. Why it again reinstalls Git? Unnecessary, it's time waste. Only thing what we want is a new software to be added, that is tree. So only 5th instruction gets executed after installing the tree. It's reading the package and tree is getting installed. Because it will not install Git again, because this particular customized image is already having Git. Again, what's the meaning in installing Git? So it will not execute. So the instructions which already there in the cache memory, they will not get executed again. Now read the state theory. Whenever an image is built from a Docker file, Docker reads its memory and checks the instructions which are already executed. It refers to the cache memory and checks the instructions which are already executed. Those steps will not be re-executed. Up so here 2, 3, 4 is not getting executed. Only the latest instruction is getting executed. This is the time-saving mechanism of Docker, which is having a very important advantage. See, this Docker customized image is already having Git. What is the meaning in reinstalling it again? Not required. Only the new file, new instruction gets executed, and that gets installed. Clear about the same time-saving mechanism of Docker. Any questions in the advantage of cache memory? Asif?
Hello. What if I have written two commands again? So will it execute or will not? It will not
Two
execute.
commands again in the sense.
It means I have installed Git previously.
It is
Again, I
already
am
installed,
writing.
so it will not.
Again, I am writing run apt get install -git in new
It will not
instruction.
No.
It will not
See,
execute.
it will not execute.
From cache, it will check whether it is already
It check
installed or
whether
not.
it is already installed or not. It's already installed. It will not reinstall it again. It checks whether
Okay,
JDK is
okay.
there on the cache. As if JDK is not there, it gets executed. Got it?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's an advantage. Is it advantage or not, Asif? It's definitely an advantage. Am I right?
A great advantage
Nice.
actually.
See, this is a Docker file with 4 instructions. Visualize a Docker file which is having 20 instructions. Asif, visualize a
Yes.
Docker file which is having 20 instructions. You are adding 21st instruction. Docker will not again start from again starts 20
From the
instructions, will
scratch,
not
will
execute.
not.
No. All those 20 are there in the cache memory. It will only add the next latest instruction and builds you provides you a new image. That's what we want
Yeah,
with
right.
updated code. That's it.
Is there
That
any
is how
time
it's
limit of cache?
so specific to session, local to session. Once the session is closed, the cache is lost.
Cache will remove.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. But image we have for a long time now.
Image is permanent as long as
Image is permanent. So cache will also be permanent now in that image.
cache is specific to session, I think so.
Session,
or it will maintain one cache memory specific to an image, I think so. I'm not sure. Okay, the session availability of the cache. Okay, we need to check.
Thank you.
So I hope you
Sunil,
understood the advantage. Dinesh, yes.
yeah, I mean, when we will use this customized images, see, normally if developer wants only one container, we won't go for this Docker file or customized image, right? Just we'll create normal image using Docker run or else Docker pull, right?
You're saying
Or
is when
else,
development team needs only one container,
we will use this, I mean, like Docker
we will
file, or
not
else we'll use.
your understanding is when should we use Docker file? When they need 2 containers or 3 containers.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not the number of containers.
Okay.
When the development team does not want predefined images, containers of predefined images. Predefined image is Ubuntu. Okay, but the development team needs Ubuntu with Java. Dinesh.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Always development team needs Ubuntu with Java installed in it.
Okay.
So we will not create Ubuntu again from the scratch. Again, we don't want to install Java. So create a image, customized image with Ubuntu with Java, and we give it to.
So both are same, right? We can have Ubuntu container and then we can install Java. That is also same,
But
right?
it's a manual process. It's time consuming, right?
Yeah.
Let's say every day they want to create with Java only. So every day, why do we repeat this again and again? Happily, we create one customized image Ubuntu with Java, and whenever they want Ubuntu with Java, we'll create the image. We'll run the container gets created. Okay.
Okay.
Dinesh?
Okay, sir. Yeah, sir. Okay.
So when development team needs operating system with software 1, software 2, software 3. Today, development team needs an operating system with 1, 2, 3 softwares. Okay, you have manually used a predefined images. You have created a container. You have installed software 1, software 2, software 3. Again, tomorrow if they want again the same softwares. Every day they want same software. So instead of this, create a customized image with those 3 softwares, and whenever they want, we build a container and give it to them. Yeah, ready-made. So I hope you have
Even at
understood the
that,
cache. Yes.
even after building the, see, they're asking Ubuntu with Java. Even after building that image, we'll give the IP of that Ubuntu machine only, right? For the
Yes, that's it. We'll start using it.
okay.
Okay. So it executes the latest instruction. That's the time-saving mechanism. The disadvantage of this is we end up installing software packages from a repository which is updated long time back. What does that mean? This means as if we have observed that updating the APT repository will not get executed. It uses cache because the older instruction. Am I right, Asif?
Yes, yes.
This means tree is getting installed without updating the APT repository.
Yeah.
That means you end up with the older version of tree. You may.
Yes, yes. That's
Am I right?
that's come
That's the
in my mind.
disadvantage.
Yes. Yeah. Even update command will not get executed.
APT repository is not getting updated. Without updating APT repository or installing tree, you may end up with older version of tree. You want to
Yes,
update the APT repository and then you want to install tree. You want the latest version of a particular package. It's not happening because of this advantage. So this becomes a disadvantage. The disadvantage is we end up installing software packages which are updated long time back. So look at this. Observe the output. Step 2, 3, 4 uses cache. Asif, you already have observed this. Step 5 is executed freshly. Disadvantages. Let's say you're running it after 4 months, you install it tree which is updated long time back. To implement cache busting, we use this. Cache busting. We bust the cache by using double ampersand symbol. Whichever statement is Docker file, which uses double ampersand symbol, as if it will be re-executed. Okay.
Okay. So to overcome this
We use a special symbol double advantage. So when you use double advantage, it will not verify the cache memory whether it is there or not. It again executes it freshly.
execute that command. Okay.
Yes. So when you're writing this in double ampersand in one single line, okay, so it updates the APT repository, then install tree and get, even though you execute 5 times also, it will update the APT repository every time. That means it removes that particular previous entries in the cache memory and freshly executes it. Okay.
Okay.
So if you want
important.
2 more softwares to be installed like Java and all, how we need to use it?
You can use ampersand, double ampersand in any number of lines. Okay.
Right.
Whichever
Okay.
you want.
In same line, we can use multiple times.
Yes, you can use multiple times, or you can write it in multiple lines also. That's not a problem. So what I'm doing here, let me remove the existing one.
Sunil, can you write in multiple lines, like how it will?
1 minute, please. Let me just complete it. Save and quit. We all know cache memory is having a update the APT repository should not get executed. But now, observe here what's happening. Done. Go back to the messages. Yes. This is what. Not this one. Maintainer logic lab. Step 3. Is it using cache? Asif, step 3. Previously it is used cache. It's not using cache because we have used double ampersand symbol. So that is with separating the repository. The cache is getting busted. Okay. So cache memory. So all these are important. Okay.
Yes.
Advantage of how exactly Docker behaves when you create a Docker file, when you're reading the Docker file. In the interview, they'll ask you, you have a Docker file of 50 instructions. You're adding 2 more instructions. When you again build an image, the question will be, does it start running all the instructions from line 1? So
No.
you know, that's the answer. Uses the cache memory. Only the newly added instructions will be executed. It's the time-saving mechanism of Docker. Okay. To overcome this, use double ampersand. Okay. Clear? Dinesh, you want double ampersand in multiple lines, you place it and then you do experiment.
Can you
Because of
show?
time constraints. Yes, Prashant. Because of time constraints, we are moving it to next example. You can experiment yourself.
One more doubt. Like instead of giving the double amp,
1 minute. Yes, Dinesh, please.
instead of giving the double ampersand, you can write new line. See, you need two new lines to be executed. Now there you can write again apt update, right? So that you will get the updated version of the new one software which you are installing.
Try it.
No, it will not execute. No, Dinesh. That's what I asked.
Whether it is using cache or is it running freshly?
Okay, so
Yes, Prashant.
I wanted to see that notes where the ampersand is introduced.
So as you used the ampersand symbol in this particular line, the complete line will be executed. No matter it will check whether it is used in the cache or not previous time. No. Wherever the ampersand is there, those lines will be executed freshly.
In this scenario, sir, we have combined the statement, right? So
Yes.
if in case it's an individual statement,
Because I want to get the latest version of Git entry.
Okay.
Okay.
And sir, what if in fact we would also want the latest version of the other applications that are dependency on it? Then how would we
Add
do?
a number of applications. Give a space. Application
all in one
you have space, all in one. You can have 10 applications also, not a problem. Okay. So understand the concept of cache busting. Okay. Next, Vishal.
Yes, Sunil. So there is one more way to avoid the caching. So we can use the switch, no hyphen cache to avoid the caching. So it will use all the commands as a fresh instead of using from the cache.
Okay. I'm not sure about that. Okay. Yeah. Probably it could be done. Yes. So we have understood working with Docker file, version controlling on the Docker file. We have learned it, and then we have used the concept of cache busting. So we have completed this agenda. And in the interview, they'll ask you, Vishal, in the interview, they'll ask you, when you're creating a container, we have seen many times creating a container, isn't it? You're creating an Ubuntu container. In the Docker run command, you're using IT stands for interactive terminal, isn't it? So when you use interactive terminal, what is getting happened, Vishal? Container gets created.
Yes, and it
and control
runs
will enter
in
into that container, isn't it?
yes, yeah.
Okay. Can we do it in Jenkins? Can you create a Jenkins container and can you use IT stands for interactive terminal? So Jenkins container gets created and control will enter into Jenkins.
Yes.
Or so let's take an example of Tomcat container. You're creating a Tomcat container in the Docker run command. If you write IT in the Tomcat container, do you think the control will enter into Tomcat container? No. Isn't it, Prashant? Can you guess the reason?
No, it won't work because those are not the operating system that actually allows it. Those are the application. Rather, this is operating system. That is the reason it allows us.
Ubuntu is an operating system. That's why you are able to enter into interactive terminals, and the other applications are not operating systems. They are web servers, probably. No, some other applications. You are not able to enter into interactive terminal. The technical reasons behind this is every container comes with a default process. Every container comes with a default process. As long as the default process is a bash terminal, you enter into interactive mode. If there are containers that have default process is not a bash terminal, you cannot enter into interactive mode. So more details about this, practicals of why the container is behaving differently with respect, why the commands are behaving differently with respect to containers. In the case of Ubuntu container, IT option is working. In case of Tomcat container, IT will not work. So the commands are behaving differently with respect to the containers. This is all because of the background process which the containers run. How to know the background process of a container? How to know the background process which is running as part of, as long as background process is running, the container will be running. The background process is stopped, the container will be stopped. So what is that background process? We can also change the background process of a container. Every container comes with a process. Ubuntu container comes with the background process. Tomcat comes with the background process. Jenkins comes with the background process. Every container comes with the background process, and we can change the background process of a specific container. Okay, so all this we'll be learning in our tomorrow's class. What is background process? How can you change the background process of a container? Okay, all these are very, very important. Okay, Vishal, any questions?
No, all good.
Prashant?
No, sir. Sir, I wanted to know, like, it's the end of the lecture, right?
Yes, done with the today's session.
Okay. Sir, I needed the dumps in fact to actually study and
For which course?
also to
Certification
understand
associate level?
associate level. I'm done, sir.
You're done?
I'm done with that. Yeah.
Long
Already 2 years back. Yeah.
Okay. I think validity is there for how many? 3 years, sir?
3 years, sir.
Okay.
So actually, I
Now you
wanted it
planning?
for understanding the scenarios that they put across to the students, as well as on the basis, like, if I were to, I mean, those are the scenarios in fact that are quite tricky. Rather, in fact, if I were to ask those in the interview question as well, I'll be able to judge the person's overall, I mean, understanding that is there with the AWS and everything.
Okay.
So, sir, I mean, what would be the best way, like, where I could actually go and get those?
The first point. First point. Learning the you may agree or not, this is out of my experience.
Yeah,
Learning
that's
the
correct.
subject,
Yes.
learning the subject from the interview point of view will be different. Learning the subject from the certification point of view is different. Okay.
Yes.
So if you learn the subject from the interview point of view, subject point of view, you will not clear the certification because those questions will not come into the certification. Frequently asked interview important. Okay. So if your object is to certification, which one professional level? Okay. So learn the concepts with respect to professional certification. So I'll provide you the dumps, Prashant, and there are
Yeah.
and I recommend to go depend on Udemy for getting the certifications.
Okay.
There are
Okay.
YouTube courses with respect to clearing certifications. Okay, so with that
And with the
course,
one that I shared with you,
hello.
And how about the one that I shared with you?
Which one?
The Udemy one that I shared with you.
Yeah, I have not checked it. Let me check it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Prashant.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Yeah,
You have sent
sure.
to my WhatsApp, no?
No, sir. No, what I've done is, in fact, I have actually shared it on your email directly.
I will check.
Email, in fact, I've shared all this.
I'll check this, Prashant. You are from which city?
Huh?
You are from which
Beg your
city?
pardon, sir? Mumbai.
Yeah, Mumbai. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the people who will write proxy on behalf of you. That is
So
also.
that I'm aware about. Yes, that is there.
So okay. So people who don't have time, they go for that. Okay. Okay then. Thank you all. See you tomorrow.
Hello.
Sure,
Please
sir.
practice.
Hello. Hello.
Rajshekar?
Sir. Hello.
Yes, Rajshekar, tell me.
Sir, please send resumes for what you are preparing. I'm not getting how to prepare it.
DevOps sample resumes.
Yes, sir.
Send an email. I have already replied to a few participants. I have already sent something. You send an email, I reply to you. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.